with essential ingredients. Stitch Kitchen offers convenient, community-driven solutions for students who may not have a kitchen of their own, making it easier to cook, learn, and connect right on campus. Let's watch Ryan's intro video before we welcome her to the
My name is
stage.
Ryanne Swanson, and my business name is Stitch Kitchen. My major is economics, and this is my first year at Angelo State. However, I am credit-wise a sophomore. After graduation, I hope to get a master's degree in economics, and after that, I'm unsure, though I do want to pursue internships in order to help get a better understanding of what I want to do after college. To me, being an entrepreneur means having an open and creative mind and being open to problem solving. I chose to participate in BizPitch because I had an idea and I wanted to pursue that idea and bring it to life. I think the greatest benefit of this competition is being able to share my idea with others and gain feedback. Stitch Kitchen, a cooking place for all chef kind.
Please welcome Ryanne Swanson with Stitch Kitchen.
Hi everyone, my name is Ryanne Swanson, and today I am presenting Stitch Kitchen, a cooking place for all chef kind. Judges, in front of you today, I have put 2 large room temperature eggs, 2 cups of sugar, and 2 cups of peanut butter. That is double the recipe that you see up here. With the recipe, the ingredients to make it, and a couple cookies so you know what they should look and taste like, I ask you to please, right here, right now, make me these cookies. You can't do it? That's the problem that many Angelo State dorm residents face. I know that I personally have a passion for cooking. I love it and I miss being able to do it on a regular basis. I also miss being able to eat after that. Not so much the dishes, but definitely the eating and definitely the cooking. I've heard other people have this problem as well. I've overheard them at the UC just talking about how they wish that they had a kitchen and they wish that they were able to cook. With no kitchen, you get no fresh home-cooked meals. There's also not a wide variety of healthy options. So if you choose to diet, there aren't a lot of options for you, and a lot of people will just take the easy route and go to Chick-fil-A or Subway rather than spending a lot of money on pre-packaged salads or pre-packaged chicken and things like that. So with no kitchen, if you want a healthy option, you have to pay a lot, and there's still not a wide variety of options. In addition, there are no good cultural meals for international students. Those wanting a taste of back home, where are they going to find that if they do not have a kitchen for them to cook it themselves? Additionally, there's not a wide variety of allergen-friendly options. While there are some located in the cafeteria on campus, there's still not a wide variety of options. And on top of that, the students don't know what ingredients are being put into the things in which they are consuming, and they don't know whether there are any cross-contamination factors that they should think about and consider. And so with no kitchen, they have no control of what ingredients gets put into their food. Additionally, there is no way to make or reheat easy foods. The cookies in front of you took me 5 minutes to whip up and then put into the oven. We can't make something as simple as cookies. We can't have a toaster or eggs. So how are we gonna make something as simple as toast and eggs for breakfast? So what is the solution to all of this? I'm proposing a community kitchen located off campus, but within walking distance of campus, so that those without a car can still commute. Even if it would be located a little further off campus, there's still the Ram Tram which could transport students over there. I'm proposing individual kitchen stations so that multiple people can cook at once at different stations, or they can bring all their friends and cook at one station together. The pictures on the left are very fancy and very expensive, and that is not what I'm proposing to start with, but it does give kind of a visual of what I'm looking at and what I am imagining. Even something so much as having individual tables for people to come in and cook and a couple of ovens or stoves in the back, that would also work. Additionally, what would be needed in the kitchen is everyday cooking utensils like pots, pans, measuring cups, bowls, things like that. And an employee, which would be me, would supervise the kitchen, ensuring that everything is being clean, maintained, and everything is accounted for. So if something is damaged or stolen, they would have to pay for that. And if anything wasn't clean, like they're supposed to clean afterwards, if that did not happen, they would be charged a cleaning fee. Additionally, I would have a fire extinguisher and a first aid kit available in the kitchen for safety reasons. My target market is primarily college students because they are the ones with no access to a kitchen. Additionally, however, I do have apartment residents as a target market because although they may have a kitchen, it does not always come fully furnished with all the utensils and things that they need. Additionally, they have to deal with roommates who are also trying to use that kitchen or may not be in a great mood and you want to get out of that environment. Or maybe you want to cook with all your friends. Stitch Kitchen is where you can do that. Another target market are couples and families with children because in December and during the summer months, a lot of students return home. So how does Stitch Kitchen generate revenue during those months? I open it up more towards families and couples with children. So date night, or teaching kids to come in and make their own gingerbread houses, something fun like that. Possible competitors are the meal plan because students already pay thousands of dollars for that meal plan. So what makes them want to come to Stitch Kitchen? Like I said, a kitchen, being able to have all of these options open to you and available. The meal plan, I'm not using Stitch Kitchen to compete with the meal plan, but rather to supplement it, to make it better and make it more enjoyable. Apartments with kitchens are another competitor just because if you already have a kitchen, what makes you want to pay to use a different kitchen? As I said, access to utensils, getting away from your roommates, or being able to cook with all your friends, the fun social aspect of it. Pre-cooked microwavable meals, fast food, and DoorDash are another competitor because it's fast, easy, convenient, and you don't have to go anywhere to get it. However, you get smaller portion sizes and you still have to pay for that, and it's additional. Whereas you could be going and cooking at a kitchen, just making eggs or something cheap and something healthy. For the size of the market, what I did is I went to the UC and I surveyed students who were sitting in there, and I surveyed a total of 53 dorm residents. 49% said that they would purchase a membership for $30 a month. 35% said that they would pay for a day pass, which is $10 a day. And 62% said that they would purchase a cooking class, which is $10 per class, plus the cost of ingredients, plus the cost of a day pass if you do not already have a membership. For the revenue, I realized that the percentages on the previous slide were very high, so I took much more conservative percentages. And so for year one, I calculated 5% of the 1,870 dorms residents. And I did that for the first 3 months, and then also for June, July, August, and December, the off months when students go back home. I calculated 10% for the rest of the year. And for year two, what I did is I ramped up the first 3 months that I had 5% previously and made that 10%. And I also made December 10% because that's whenever I can open up a lot of different things and everybody's gonna be coming in for Christmas and things like that. For cost, I calculated total operating costs, and it would be approximately $645 a month or $7,740 a year. Starting costs would come up to $2,706. Taken from the previous two slides, I calculated that year one profits would be $67,995, and year two profits would be $85,760. Stitch Kitchen, a cooking place for all chef kind. Thank you.
Judges, let the question round begin.
Hello? Oh. Hey, so your name was Ryan, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Could we go back a couple slides? Could we, there we go. Keep going. Oh, stop right here. Thank you so much. So 49%. So you surveyed 53 dorm residents. I think this is a really interesting idea. I was once a student here as well. I was once a student here as well, and I guess my point is, did you estimate how much larger the market could be if you were to do this at every university?
I did consider that, yes, because I know that other universities have a much larger market. They have more dorm residents by quite a significant number. However, I pictured this more for San Angelo just because this is the resources that I had and the environment that I had to work with.
Great job on your presentation and your idea and your props. We're like, what are we buying here? But you created a need, which is wonderful. I actually wanted to just go back to your startup cost and ask about the kitchen itself and how I don't see ovens and options like that on there. How do you envision that space? Is that an existing kitchen, or tell me a little bit about that?
So I'm envisioning like a restaurant and renting out that space. I actually went and talked to a business, and they said that what I'm looking for is called a ghost kitchen, and that it typically ranges $400 to $600 a month. However, what I'm looking for would fall more towards the $500 mark, just because students aren't going to be accessing things like deep fryers. For the total cost, however, I did calculate with the $600 just so it would be the about maximum cost.
Perfect.
The question I had was, how many cooking station units would you have in your facility?
So I was thinking 3 to 4 to start, but there's always, if I use tables, I can always bring out more tables.
I was writing down cute questions. I always write down questions as they go along, and I was like, did you do a survey? Did you do this? And you covered all the bases. The one thing that I have down here is, are there any other colleges with a model similar to this that you found in your research? Or is this kind of a new concept?
I did look up and see if there were any sort of community kitchens, and the only thing that was popping up was whenever people have come in and they do like soup kitchens, but that wasn't open to just anybody, it was only for the volunteer event.
Have you taken some time to speak to like Chartwells about this? See what they would do?
So I had considered originally like having it on campus, and I realized that then I would have to contract with Chartwells, and I would also have to figure out how to do revenue through there, whether it would be through a charge, which Angelo State typically doesn't want to increase their prices. So by having it off campus, I no longer have to deal with contracting with Chartwells and working with Angelo State.
One of the questions I had you considered partnering with maybe healthcare, making healthy meals and teaching folks how to cook, kind of increasing your market with this concept?
So that was kind of where the cooking classes came in, was I could teach you how to make something healthy, or I could teach you how to make things like bread. What I would have is I would probably have my own like social media page or website or something, and have where you can submit ideas, and then have a poll where you can vote on those ideas.
Would love to see a little marketing budget. All businesses need them. How do you plan on spreading the word?
So to start with, it would be through flyers, like putting them on cars or dorm hall doors, if I'm allowed to. And then additionally through things like social media and word of mouth. Word of mouth does go very far in Angelo, I think.
To follow up on that question, have you thought about trying to, work with the university to maybe email all the students? Because I think, you have a really clear opportunity to get good data on how many people would use this, right? And then maybe scale that, across. I do think this is a good need, so scale that across other universities.
That's actually a really good idea that I hadn't thought of. So thank you for that.
So have you thought about students who maybe don't have a car, and since they don't have access to a kitchen, how they would get groceries to cook the meals? Like, would you have kind of a little grocery store there, or would that just be an extra step they would kind of need to go do before coming to cook?
So I thought about later down the line having something like that where they could come in and buy ingredients and have individual sticks of butter, individual eggs, things like that they could buy. But there's also an HEB that a lot of people will walk to, or they'll take the Ram Tram to get to. And then there's things like the Asian market, which is just right down the road.
Thank you, judges. Ryan, your pitch was well seasoned and baked to perfection. Judges, please take this time to write your notes for this presentation and complete your scorecard. And Glad will come around to pick up your scorecard. Please keep your comment cards for the deliberation portion of it.